Actually, the Syrian government in 2005 they adopted the so-called free market policy on an economic level, and this started to also affect the social interactions, the social values of Syria, and there was an intention to liberalize the Syrian society or more or secularize, let's say, okay, and there was a big opposition among the conservatives in Syria. And we're not talking about the Islamists now, the Al Qaeda that you mentioned. We're talking about even the Mufti of Syria. We're talking about who is very moderate. We're talking about Sheikh Ramadan al Bouti, who passed away. He was assassinated after the so-called revolution. And so the society wasn't ready for pushing or engineering secularization of the Syrian society. We have seen backlash, and it started, for example, with a Syrian series called Ma Malakat Imanukum. They addressed the Salafi scene in Damascus and Al Qubaysiyat and etc. And they have shown that these people have a plan, and their plan is a soft penetration of the Syrian society, and through that to reach the state institutions and to occupy or have an influence in the pillars of the Syrian state. So they went hysterical because of this Syrian series, and they wanted to ban it. And back then it was the presidency. I'm not talking about only the president, but also his wife. They intervened and they let this series to be broadcast on a Syrian TV channel. So these things happened before the war, and the government or Assad had the backing of part of the society, but the other part was against this. So this also, first, the economic, as I mentioned, the free open market society. What segment was the most affected by it? They were the peasants and the working class. The peasants and the working class, they are the backbone of Al-Ba'ath party in Syria. How Al-Ba'ath party came to power in 63? Through the peasants and the working class, because they were anti-capitalist and bourgeoisie party, right? So what happened between 2005 and 2010? They started to lose their grassroots because of this economic liberalization. But at the same time, they were gaining other people who are the bourgeoisie or the people who are joining from the middle class to the upper class. But when war erupts, the bourgeoisie and the rich people, they don't fight for you. They're the first one who would take the plane and run away, right? So you lost people who are ready to fight for their territory, for their land, because the peasant fights for his farm, and the owner of a workshop and the land fights for his land. But the people who have Teslas, Lamborghinis under their apartment, this is the truth. This is the bitter truth. 90% of the bourgeoisie, they will not fight because it's easy for them to escape. So economically, this was a very, I would say, mistake by the Syrian government.